Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. The Vulcans want to break it off with Starfleet and take T'Pol home too. But Archer gives her one last road trip where they get a little tied up. Phlox spoils the going away party, Trip gets hung up on, Reed swears it's not an alien tractor, and the Andorians return just to settle a debt and get a good night's sleep.
Okay, look. I know you're taking pictures of my crotch because I can hear the camera go. So until I find out who sent you in here, Dot, you need to go. Oh, whoa, the light's on. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for joining another episode of Starfleet Underground. We're here with a full crew. We don't have a guest today because we had a transporter accident with our brand new ship, the first ever. So we're in the process of getting this guest reassembled, and hopefully they'll be back along a little bit later on. So I am Captain Nathan Adams of this beautiful here vessel, and we have our science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer. And Captain, guess what?
What happened?
I gave the Tribbles, well, I told them I was going to give them seafood, but then I ended up giving them oysters. But then they're oysters from this place called the Rocky Mountains, and they really are digging this, and I need to get more. So please, can you order more? I have no idea where the Rocky Mountains... What?
I was dreading that this conversation would ever come up, and here it is.
I'm so sick I'm blue.
Your balls are blue?
Rocky Mountain oysters. I have
nothing to do with this.
I'm going to have to look to see if the replicator can actually replicate a facsimile of.
No.
Because animal rights people would get ticked off. If you don't know, Rocky Mountain oysters are the testicles of...
Wait, before you say that, get the kids out of the room.
Oh, that's right. Kids, we could have Rocky Mountain Oyster Juniors if you're listening to this. So you need to leave because this is not a child's podcast. This is for grown folks only. So skedaddle out of the room. If you don't, there's going to be a monster that's going to be hiding under your bed tonight. And as soon as your feet dangle over under the covers, it's going to grab you and eat you. So get out of the room.
Okay, now that they're out of the room, could you say what you were saying before? Because I totally interrupted you.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain oysters are the testicles of bulls.
It's a delicacy, apparently.
So you're saying in order to keep the Tribbles happy because they're ball-shaped and you want to give them something that's a ball food.
It's just not right.
You want to deprive reproductive organs of all the bulls on Earth.
Oh.
And it's called Rocky Mountain because that's where it started.
Oh. Now I need to tell the Tribbles that?
Yeah, Patrick should be an expert because it has to do with balls.
Patrick, can you come down here and help me?
I don't deal in bull balls.
I've heard you.
The assumption that I do is bull.
I've heard you.
Now, bull is a term they use, though. They use bull for a term, right?
I've heard you, Patrick. I've gone by your room and heard you go, oh my, you're strong like bull. So I know that you're into that. So there's that.
No, you're projecting again, Captain.
No, I don't think so. Speaking about projecting, we have our computer guy who likes to have anybody who's strong like bull or maybe even a bear. Go ahead.
I'm Patrick. I'm the computer tech. I'm also your foreign species liaison, and I'm number 1 on the ship. And I do not like bull balls. I emphatically state that.
You said you like blue balls? What was that?
No, I don't like blue balls. I don't like black balls. I don't like white balls. I don't like red balls.
Really?
Why do you keep trying to get Tribbles to fit where they're not supposed to?
I don't like Tribble. I don't like Tribble balls either.
You like Tribble balls?
Nope. I heard him the other day going, I like big balls and I cannot lie. And your other brothers can't deny.
See, there you go. He heard you.
You guys are projecting again.
No, that was you in the sonic shower. We heard you. You didn't think we were on that part of the ship. So there's that. And we have Rocky.
Hi, everybody. I'm the engineer of the show and the ship. And just want to shout out Shock G. Rest in peace.
Yes, Digital Underground. It's a shame he passed away quite young.
It happens, man. This is a sucky thing about getting older is all the people you grew up with and, you looked up to like, oh, man, and they're passing away.
So hence the reference, I like big butts.
Well, that's Mix-a-Lot. That's Sir Mix-a-Lot. He's still with us.
Okay. Then who was Shakti was...
He's the one that put the sand on your panties.
He was a Humpty Dance.
The Humpty Dance. Okay.
Yeah, he did the Humpty Dance.
Sorry for mixing those up.
Humpty Hump.
Yeah.
Do the Humpty Hump.
Yeah.
A little bit of trivia. Tupac started with Digital Underground.
Mm-hmm.
So he was one of the ones that were on there before he decided to go into more of a hardcore rap.
But he was the first one to go underground?
That's the Digital Underground.
That's Digital Underground.
We are Starfleet Underground, so we have a little thing to know about Digital Underground.
Which is a big difference. First off, I forgot to tell you that this is also the podcast where our shields are constantly at 47%. And this show is being brought to you by Section 31, as well as our Patreon viewers. Also, a little heads up because we found that one of our loyal members, Dominic, has increased his Patreon membership. So he's going to be getting stuff sent to him.
Oh, boy.
So that's going to be pretty cool.
That's exciting.
And also a thank you to Lana, as well as the others that have joined our happy little family. So thank you so much. And now, first off, next, do we have any corrections this week?
Let me check Subspace again, just real quick, but I did not see anything this morning when I looked. And nope, we are flawless.
That is so cool. Even our mistakes are perfect. So, Heather, do you have any news for us this week?
I do. So if you guys have been listening the past few weeks, I have ranted several times about LeVar Burton not being a host on Jeopardy. Well, they finally announced their final roundup of hosts for the first season. And by the way, this season that they're doing right now, I should say, is the only season they're doing so many guest hosts. Next season, they'll have a permanent host. But finally, LeVar Burton will finally host Jeopardy. So excited about it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Only took them long enough.
I think they were hiding that. I think they were holding it back because they're just fucking with us, because of course they're going to put friggin', Geordie LaForge on Jeopardy. I mean, right?
Well, they took a long time for them to make the announcement.
Yeah, it took them way too long.
Way too long. I mean, we were prepping out that, was it with a fundraiser or the petition?
The petition, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. We were repping that for a while and it was already up over 200,000. I'm like, of course they've heard about this by now. Mm-hmm. So they were keeping it quiet.
I'm glad that they finally did because he really would make a cool host. And plus, did you see that thirst trap picture that was put out with him on a motorcycle?
That's a good shot.
That was a good one. He looked really good.
That guy looks good on the bike.
People were losing it on that.
Well, I mean, how old is he? He's in his 60s, I think?
At least, yeah.
And he looks that damn good on a motorcycle? Damn.
Calm down, girl.
Well,
you know what black don't crack. So,
that's what they say.
I mean, look at Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, she's actually working on a superhero movie.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting.
A black female superhero who's just gone through the change.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And change is not in getting superpowers. It's like dealing with superpowers and menopause at the same time, which will be a combination of adventure and comedy.
I have got to see that.
So that's what she's working on.
This sounds educational.
It's going to be like a comic book and possibly a movie and or TV series.
I think it's already been a comic book, but now she's working on a movie or TV series with it. And she is 65 years old.
Yeah, and she's been fighting Hollywood because every time she wants to go out for a part, they keep using the lame-ass excuses that if she's on the show, she'll pull them out of the reality of the show.
Oh,
yep.
It's like, seriously? I didn't hear anybody laugh through the 1 hour photo with Robin Williams. So if you haven't seen that, that's basically a horror movie where Robin Williams is anything but funny.
Yeah, that was a good movie. That was good. But she's an actress. Hello, look at her in The Color Purple. I mean,
exactly.
she killed it. So, it's not like she can act, and so don't worry about pulling someone out of the fantasy of the movie.
They're stupid to do that because that's what actors will do. You never hear somebody goes, "What? Robert De Niro and Analyze This, but he's a serious actor. Why he's going to do comedy with Billy Crystal? Or Meet the Fockers. They're just weak sauce when it comes to that.
A good actor can be a good actor in
no
anything.
matter what.
Comedy, drama, sci-fi. It doesn't matter. They're good in anything because they can act.
And since we're talking about Whoopi, this is the 30th year of her Ghost Oscar win.
Phenomenal scenes in Ghost. Phenomenal.
Patrick Stewart, where, he's playing Picard and everything, he also did Blunt Talk, and you could see how he's a serious actor, like a Shakespearean serious actor, and he goes from, different roles, displaying different things. And Blunt Talk, I mean, if you haven't seen Blunt Talk, see Blunt Talk.
I haven't seen that in a while. That was good stuff.
Yeah. But that just shows that a serious actor has no problem doing comedy.
It's the thing they call range. People have it.
Yes, exactly. It's range.
And a lot of people just don't see it. Like a lot of people aren't aware of one of Jim Carrey's first movie roles was not comedy.
He was a vampire.
He was in a Dirty Harry movie.
Oh.
He was in Deadpool. And a lot of people don't realize that. If you ever saw the Dirty Harry movie, Deadpool, there's a beginning scene when you have a rocker that's doing Welcome to the Jungle. And he goes into his trailer and he does this drugs that was spiked to be an overdose. And he goes through severe convulsions before he dies. That was Jim Carrey using his physical comedy to show somebody going through convulsions, the way he's able to contort his body. But
I just remember him being in some vampire movie.
What was that movie called?
There was with what's her name?
With Lauren Hutton?
Yeah.
Was it Lauren Hutton?
Yeah, he was a virgin.
Yeah.
So
like love it first, not
first
not
bite,
love it
or,
first
something
bite or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was like the first time I remember seeing him.
It had a funny climax in that movie.
It was Once Bitten. It was Once Bitten.
That's what it was called.
In 1985, that movie came out. So yeah, with
80s movie
with the late great Cleavon Little was also in it.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. But his very, very first movie was Finders Keepers. That was his very first movie, then followed by Once Bitten. And then he was an alien named Whitlock in Earth Girls Are Easy. So I'm sure Patrick Whitlock.
Like he's whipping it out?
Yeah, I guess so.
Whitlock.
And Patrick would have saw the movie if it was Earth Boys Are Easy, but I don't think he saw that one.
It had Julie Brown in it. Of course I saw it.
Oh, speaking of next, I guess, Heather, are you finished with your news item?
Aye, Captain.
Patrick, what's your news item?
Well, so we all know that Q is coming back to Card. And John Delancey assures fans that he is going to annoy the shit out of Picard in season 2. And he has also stated that he's going to annoy Guinan.
Oh,
he's going to be annoying, is what they're saying.
Well, yeah, like as one is one to do when one is Q.
Q can do. Q is great. I can't wait to see what Q is going to be doing in all of this.
Me too.
And it's one of his superpowers.
And it's funny, he's been making appearances on Cameo, and I've seen a frame grab or two. He's got a trimmed out look now. So he's not as scruffy looking as he was, but he's got a different look to him because apparently age has affected Q as well.
Well, yeah.
Well, I really, really hope we get to see the background between Guinan and Q, and I want to see her fight him.
That will be really interesting. I would love to see that.
Just a little throwdown would be nice.
So cool.
One other piece of news. So the viral tweet that Michael Dorn said where he was coming back to Starfleet, #ad, and everyone just lost their mind thinking,
oh my God, talk about viral marketing. That lit Twitter up. Trekkie Twitter went fucking nuts.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh my God, he's coming back to, he's going to be in Discovery? Is he going to be in Picard? Is he going to be in Strange New Worlds? What's he going to be in?
Even TrekMovie.com is like, guys, we checked. He's not in the shows. They're saying no.
So what it turns out that the viral campaign reveals itself to be for Star Trek Legends game.
Yeah, the video game. You can get it on Apple Arcade if you subscribe to that.
That's a little disappointing.
It's a little, just a little bit. But oh man, they went for the marketing, the viral marketing.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be the captain of the USS Artemis.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. The Artemis is a ship that is designed to go into the Rift for the Nexus. So they're visiting the Nexus in this video game, and that means all kinds of wonderful, crazy ideas going on. So it should be pretty cool. But yeah, when we're freaking out because, Picard, everyone wants to come back on Picard. Let's get them all back on Picard. We're all going nuts for this. And then they just Picard. Let him drop that just like that. It's like, dude, come on, man. You're fucking with us.
Yeah,
it primes the pump, though, for ideas for him to have his own show.
Well, hopefully they see how people reacted, how they responded, and they'll be like, maybe we should bring him back for Picard.
Well, that's the whole thing. If he's on there on Starfleet Legends and let's say, sales go up and the use goes up like 100-fold, Paramount will be like poking their ears like a chihuahua hearing somebody at the door. Huh?
Well, just like they did with Captain Pike, with Anson Mount. I mean,
exactly.
People were like just lost their mind over his.
The fan love is obvious when it comes out. You can make one little tweet and it will light Twitter up. Like entire Twitter will be lit up because of us.
So that's going to be interesting.
We have the power.
That's good news. And how about you, Rocky? You got news for us?
Well, I just wanted to do a little shout out podcast wise. The Pod Directive is doing more podcasts now. That's the official Star Trek podcast right now with Tawny Newsome and Paul F. Tompkins. And they just had some wonderful episodes with John Hodgman and Michelle Yao. So both phenomenal episodes to listen to if you're a Trekkie.
Did Michelle allude to anything happening with Section 31 or her own show? Or
I believe she would have to kill all of us if she did. So no, she did not. But I think she answered that question too. That was one of the questions. What's going on? And she can't say anything.
Well, don't be lazy, Patrick. Listen to the podcast.
There you go. It was fun to listen to because she was coming to them live from Paris, and it was. I don't
even listen to our show. Why would I listen to their show?
Great way to promote us.
Yeah, nice promotion there, Patrick. Thanks a lot. Really.
I'm on a podcast and I don't care to even listen to it. So why should you?
That's so horrible.
That's a great way. Now this next part of the promotion I have to do is very embarrassing. Now, thanks a lot, Patrick. The Yum Yum podcast is going to have some guest appearances from Starfleet Underground coming up in May. So keep an ear out onto the Yum Yum podcast. This lovely couple from down under in Australia.
Down under.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to enjoy the hell out of that. It's interesting trying to sync up your time zone, but we love the company. So
we're going to throw some shrimp on the barbie and have a good time.
Yeah, all that good stuff and crocodile Dundees and kangaroos and yeah.
You said that wrong, Patrick. In Australia, they don't call them shrimp; they call them prawns.
Are you packing a prawn there, Patrick?
So they would say, throw a prawn on the Barbie, not a shrimp. They did that to Americanize.
Well, then you tell Crocodile Dundee that he done fucked it up.
No, they changed it in order to get American size.
What do they call Rocky Mountain oysters in Australia?
If they don't,
is that kangaroo balls?
Well, just like in Australia, they don't call sharks; they call them guppies.
Is that a prawn in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
So,
that fell flat.
Of an insult.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to be making an appearance over there, and it was a lot of fun to have them on our podcast a while back. So,
if a prawn is a shrimp and you have a shrimp in your pocket, you're really not happy to see someone because it's really small. I would not be happy to see if someone had a shrimp in their pocket when they came to see me. I'd be like, no, bitch.
No, Heather, it didn't fall flat. It was flat.
Ain't nothing flat up in here.
So,
it was already flat.
It was pretty bad. Well, my news today is that one is that for those of you that insist that you don't want to pay for Discovery, we'll have a chance to relive the first season. It's going to be on CBS on regular broadcast channel on September 24th at 10 p.m. is going to be the first season, the first full season of Discovery. So that's if you're in the United States, that is. So for those of you that really want to be able to see it, you get a chance to see it. So it's going to be on right after Love Island for those of you like watching the show, which I don't understand how Love Island is a lead into Star Trek, but hey.
Is that one of the reality shows?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be interesting. And the other little bit of news is that I became a granddad part 2. My granddaughter was born last night.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So I guess that's the whole captain thing, being old and grizzled and have grandkids. Like, hey, what
old?
So yeah, you need to stop. So
I just found something that we may want to correct ourselves on. So where you said that Star Trek Discovery was going to be on CBS broadcasts for the first time. Well, I just found an IndieWire dated August 26, 2020. Star Trek Discovery is being beamed to CBS fall broadcast lineup. The first full season on CBS starting September 24th. So it did air last year.
But September 24th is wait a minute.
Of 2020.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Did we get our 2020s and 21s mixed up?
Wait, Dammit Q.
Don't blame Q for your incompetence.
You know what? I stand corrected. It is not going to be on TV for 2020 because it was already on in 2020.
Oh, no. Well, this year, 2020 has gone on forever, so we can understand how you make this issue happen.
So that's all my mistake there. So that's a good catch. Thank you, Patrick.
Well, I'm smarter than the average bear.
Yeah, I told you like bears. Okay, thank you. So you know what? My news then is only my grandkid. So there's that.
Congrats! That's so awesome.
Still good news.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So can we call you Grandpappy?
So those of you that were all excited about watching Star Trek, you're done.
So Rocky, we're gonna plan like a surprise party for the captain, right?
Of course.
Yes.
And I also need your help, Rocky.
Yeah, Heather, you kind of just blew the surprise.
Well, I take after Phlox.
Oh my God, don't even go there.
I was going to make a joke about who the surprise is, but you just said she blew him. Oh my God.
So
gross.
I am not going to entertain that thought, but I'm going to need your help later on, Rocky, because the doc keeps coming in and trying to take crotch shots when I'm dressing, and I don't know who's doing that.
So it has a micro camera with it?
So
macro lens. They do have nice macro lenses on those dots.
Where is the thing to control his environment? Damn it.
I did see a funny picture just the moments before we did the podcast. Somebody posted a gender reveal. It was the shot of one of the shots of the movies where something exploded, and they said, "Oh yeah, it was like the Klingon had a gender reveal party, and it blew up a half a galaxy near Kronos or something."
Oh yeah, that's Praxis.
Yeah, that was. I got a good laugh out of that one.
Yeah, that was funny. I did see that.
And
one.
then the tweet below it was Quark saying, nobody's heard nothing about buying proton torpedoes for me. I know nothing about that.
That's cute. Well, I guess now comes our next favorite part, the reason why everyone joins us, other than our sparkling personalities and wonderful witty banter back and forth, is that we're going into the show. So Heather, you're on.
Aye, Captain. So this week's episode was Star Trek Enterprise Season 1, Episode 15, Shadows of Pajem. It first aired February 6, 2002. Quick note, Pajem, in case anyone doesn't know, is where the monastery was located from the episode The Andorian Incident. If you don't remember this, please pause this right now, go watch Season 1, Episode 7 real quick, and then come back. Okay, so teaser. Actions have consequences. We get a glimpse into a secret meeting where Soval is Vulcan pissed that the monastery was destroyed by the Andorians. Admiral Forrest points out that it was destroyed because it violated a treaty because, they were spying on the Andorian planet. Soval shifts the blame onto the Enterprise, but the Admiral is having none of that. Soval has a minor temper tantrum, stops all cooperation, and threatens that he is going to go home and he is taking T'Pol with him. As soon as the Vulcans leave, the Admiral calls Archer to tell him about his recent bitch fight.
First off, I can't believe for a race that was supposed to be so logical that there were just a bunch of evil bitches in the beginning.
These Vulcans are so different from what you grew up in Star Trek with.
They're very emo.
Yeah.
They are emo.
And it's like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And it's conveniently, it's like, it was because of you that we hit. It doesn't matter that they were spying.
Everything was working just fine if it wasn't for you damn humans.
Yeah, if they hadn't broken the treaty to begin with and spied on them.
It's like in that movie with Joe Pesci, The Super. It's like, it was working before you broke it. Geez, it was just like.
That was a good movie, too. I haven't seen that one in a while. That was a good one.
It's like, we're going to take our toys and go home, and we're taking our Vulcan with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, screw you guys. We're going to take our fleet and go away.
But to a Vulcan, logically, the listing outpost on Pajem was, completely logical and needed because the Andorians are a dangerous species.
Yeah, but they had a treaty that said no spying, and then they go and break the treaty and they spy. That's just that's messed up.
Well, they're the ones that put their spy location right in the middle of their damn monastery. I mean, hello.
But they knew I'm just speculating here, of course, but the reason that they would have done that is because they knew that the Andorians wouldn't keep their end of the bargain.
So that gives you the right not to do, like, I'm going to steal from you before you steal from me because,
Exactly.
That's right.
I think secretly the Vulcans are just voyeurs in disguise. They just really, really like staring into other people's windows.
If you only have sex every 7 years, you'd probably be a voyeur too.
So now we know the real reason why the live long and prosper sign became a thing. They were actually using it as the shocker.
The shocker. It's the shocker.
Oh my God.
One in the pink, one in the steak.
Oh my God.
That you just dirtied a huge piece of Star Trek right there.
That is so awesome. The Vulcan shocker.
So that's probably how it gets started. You never know. You never know.
Oh, man. That is the best.
Did you guys see how cool the special effects work they did in this scene, though? The shot of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then outside the windows, it felt to me a little too close to the bridge in the background because that building would have to be like in the middle of the bay. But it still looked really cool. So as someone from San Francisco Bay Area, I dug that.
Yeah.
Starfleet in San Francisco, you gotta love it.
It's interesting watching the show because as it progresses, you can see technology is progressing also because the special effects get better and better.
Yeah, there's some really good special effects in Enterprise. Very mature special effects at this time for TV.
Yeah.
One of the lines that I thought was interesting was Sobek says there was a time when you would have sought our counsel, and I'm afraid that time has passed. It's like, well, duh.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to leave already. I mean, hello, the humans are ready to leave the Vulcans a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vulcans basically think that Archer shouldn't be captain. And I have to say, though, even though they were having a temper tantrum, I do agree with that one point specifically, 100%. But other than that, they were totally having a temper tantrum.
You have something in common with the Vulcans. They think he's too impulsive.
Yeah,
and apparently Captain Gardner would probably be a little bit more your pace.
Well, when you say I have something in common with the Vulcans, the first thing I think of is
the shocker.
The Vulcan shocker.
Nice. That's cute. That's very cute, Heather.
Or either that, are you only having sex once every 7 years?
That happens too. I think some of us have that in common too.
Oh my God.
Some of us have grandkids, but some of us have pond far issues.
Yes.
So when people are going around saying they're Vulcans, that's what they mean. Got it.
It's like another word for virgin, except they've had sex.
Or incel.
Did we lose the captain?
No,
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Okay.
I think he's just letting us bury ourselves.
Yeah, I'm sitting here just thanking myself. Thank God HR is not getting
Yanking yourself?
feed.
What?
It's just like getting the full feed on this thing.
Yeah,
So,
HR would be mad. They'll be tweeting us. We heard your podcast.
I'm glad we worked that deal out with him. But yeah, that
Starfleet
was
HQD.
a beginning. That was a good beginning on the show. So
It's interesting to watch the diplomacy kind of style of this scene. It was like, you mean to tell me that it's a shame that you happen to have a spy location in your monastery? And like, sorry.
Saval is like, they've been in space for 6 months and they've already destabilized the entire sector.
That's a little over the top.
That's a little overstating it a little bit. I mean, come on
now. Vulcans were exaggerating a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
But I also like the way Forrest turned around and he stuck it to them because he's like, if you Vulcans were more transparent, this might not have occurred.
Yeah.
He's almost like, Soval's almost like, well, fuck y'all. And he like rage quits.
Yeah.
Totally.
Such a drama queen.
Yep. He blames it on Enterprise and rage quits.
You know?
And I love at the end of this, he's like, get me Archer.
Yeah.
So I gotta talk to that guy. Yeah, he's got to. You think he's like, Archer's in trouble? No, they're just gonna laugh about this shit.
He could be like, "Oh, bitch, look what I got to tell you something."
You would not believe what the Vulcans just did now.
But to go back on what Patrick said several episodes ago, he's like, so Archer's like, what happened? And Forrest is like, so this is what happened.
What happened was
so
this motherfucker came into my office.
And what happened was he started blaming you for everything.
And Archer's told her like, oh, bitch, please. Really? Which is a good part to move to the next section.
Okay, moving on. Act 1, a series of unfortunate events. Archer finds another planet to go visit in the intergalactic travel brochure. And that moment, he and Trip start to get giddy about it. That's when the phone call happens from the boss. What a way to dampen the mood. The Admiral fills him in on the meeting and tells him T'Pol has 2 days before she has to go back to the Vulcans. Archer delivers the bad news, confiding in her that he is really pissed off and he thinks Saval is having a temper tantrum. T'Pol shrugs and goes into the mess hall for lunch. She ends up eating with Phlox, who opens his huge mouth and totally spills the beans and spoils the surprise going away party. Archer wants some one-on-one time with T'Pol before she leaves, so he takes her on an away mission that ends up going completely sour.
Well, you know what I found again in this episode is Archer trying to impose his mores on another culture, like telling T'Pol, like, why aren't you upset about this? Why aren't you, they can't do this to you? Like, as if she's an individual, within the Vulcan culture, and she's not in the Vulcan culture. They're one of a whole. So again, he's trying to push his morality.
It feels to him like she's being punished. And I think that's, I'm sorry, from my point of view, it does feel like they want to use her as a scapegoat and punish her for this event that happened.
I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying that, he's imposing the human morality on another species.
But that's something, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending upon how you look at it, we tend to project emotion and things on everything. I mean, how many people talk to their vehicle when it doesn't start? Yeah. Or even many times I've walked by engineering and I hear Rocky's like, oh, come on, you could do this. I set you right. And
true.
One day I'm going to be surprised if it's going to turn around and goes, okay, Dad, I'll do it. It's just, we tend to do that. So he's thinking in episode, like, I would be upset. And why aren't you upset? And
that's like when I hear you alone in your cabin going, my precious.
Hey, I'm landscaping.
Not only is she not upset, like she sort of, gives him some lip and stuff. That one part where he's like, Archer says, you are part of my crew. And T'Pol's like, yeah, for another 48 hours.
48 hours. It's like, oh, damn.
Sick burn.
Yeah, T'Pol is just that she's rock solid. She's stone cold. She's just like, yeah, for another 48 hours. I'm like, oh, that hurts.
Yes, and I'm gonna storm out now, so don't look at my butt. She just leaves. But did you notice also that they show how close Captain Archer's cabin was to the bridge when they did that outside camera?
Another cool effect shot.
Yeah, it was. You see his, and that makes sense. He was closest to the bridge. If something goes wrong, he needs to get there, PDQ. So that was cool. It's like, hey, this is what happens, and we're being held responsible. And the ship Navarre is coming to pick you up in 2 days. I wonder if it's
don't they have any other ship besides the Navarre?
Is it just me, or these Vulcan names are starting to sound familiar?
Because the Navarre has been in an episode before.
Nope, I looked it up because I thought the same thing you guys thought. And Navarre specifically for this episode, I think it was spelled a little bit differently. I think it had like 1 or 2 letters that were different, and then that's the Navarre that both of us are thinking, or all of us are thinking about.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All in the Vulcan spelling.
Yeah. And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna get my shit and I'm gonna go. The stuff I have left, I'm gonna get Merryweather to finish because, I'm out.
Peace out, yo.
And then Archer's like, hold on, let's take a little road trip. One more road trip for old times.
Yeah, and T'Pol really, you can still feel that she still feels guilty that she was responsible for their destruction.
But she wasn't, and I don't understand. Like, why is she taking this on herself? I mean, she
feels as being the liaison, as being the Vulcan person on the ship. She should have been more firm rather than let the humans get their way and visit. She should have put her foot down.
Should have stopped it instead of going along with it.
Well, I mean, she is, she doesn't outrank the captain, so she really didn't have any say in the matter. And how was she supposed to know that the freaking Andorians were hiding and,
Well, she had no way logically to foresee what happening.
Exactly.
There's no way. So to hold her responsible for what actually happened, well, I mean, logically, she's the one who was in charge of, representing the Vulcans in this whole thing. And
T'Pol didn't have that security clearance.
Yeah, she had no idea.
No, she wasn't privy to that info.
Yeah, even if she did, she had no idea. I mean, it's just, so she's just kind of like, well, logically, that's where we are. And they're going to take me back and probably bury me. But okay, whatever.
But you notice that Phlox seems to always be the subtle voice of reason and logic.
I loved how supportive Phlox was right there. He was super supported. He was like, I assumed you were going to be promoted.
He gave away the surprise.
Yeah, but he also did it like in a way he was making her think only the Phlox way could do it. He's like, don't you know, you're the first officer to last more than a couple of weeks, the first Vulcan officer to ever last on a human ship for more than a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was actually kind of impressive to hear that. I'm like, really? Like all the Vulcans previously involved who couldn't handle our chaoticness?
Well, it was the smell. It was probably the smell, yeah.
It was the smell.
But she probably thinks in her mind that the crew doesn't like me because I'm Vulcan. And then he goes, they're planning a going away party. And so, in her mind was, wait, I thought they all thought I was a bitch. Why are they doing that?
Well, I think that was a nice heads up, though, because you realize how annoying that would be to her to suddenly get a going away party in this whole thing. Like, geez, what the hell are you people doing?
Since it was a surprise party, they were going to put it in the Decon room.
Oh, there you go. That's a good place to party.
It's got the blue party light.
They got the blue party light. Yeah.
And everyone's wearing the sexy clothes and everything.
And it's all nice and clean.
So it's like halfway to a rave already.
Totally.
Well, you know what? I like the way throughout the episodes, we've seen how Archer has worded things to give her an out, as opposed to saying, oh, well, I can take you back to the ship now. And she's like, well, no, I've got,
that's her doing though. I like the way she's doing that because she logically finds she finds the out. So
but
we're already close. We don't need to turn around. We're already here. Logically, we would be wasting fuel.
Archer's giving her that space to make that decision.
He's also doing it as a captain, and it's showing his wisdom in doing this is to ascertain where she is mentally. Mm-hmm. If she really wanted to go, it's like, okay, here's it now. Do you really want to go? Rather than asking her that, for her to have to turn around and go, yes. He's like, I can turn around. Well, no, we're already closer. So we're waste fuel, really?
Yeah. And continuing on, when they get down to the planet and they're like flying and everything, I thought it was really strange. Like you're visiting a planet, you're a guest on this planet. And if the inhabitants of the planet who you don't know, they didn't know who these people belong to. If they say, hey, we need you to do this, wouldn't you, comply and do it instead of being like, I'm going to fire up my guns and we're going to have a fight and this is going to be fun.
Oh, that was obviously a surprise attack. When you get flown up on that quickly to the point to where your mothership has to say, guys, you're going to be attacked. There's a ship approaching very quickly.
Yeah, but you're visiting, like you are on a guest planet.
Yeah, but then they fired on them.
They would have let you know that there was someone was coming to, you
get a notification. We're sending an escort.
Probably sitting there goes, wait a minute, is this that ship that people beat up all the time? Goes, yeah, they're sending a smaller one. Let's beat up the smaller one too. Let's see if the smaller one is easy to beat as the big one. Oh my God, it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that was a surprise attack. And Archer, of course, he definitely chose to pull a U-turn and return fire.
Yeah, but it didn't work. Again, it shows just how unsuperior technological.
It's the USS Weak Sauce. What are you going to do?
Seriously, you get people living in huts and they shot down a shuttlecraft. Really? Okay, I guess that brings us to the next section.
Aye, Captain. Act 2, not the fun kind of bondage. Storyline A. Archer and DePaul wake up to find that they have been taken hostage, tied up in a basement somewhere, being interrogated. They try to break free of their handcuffs, and then they try to bribe their jailer with a chicken sandwich, and then they try to escape. But all of their attempts end up with the guard pistol whipping Archer. Storyline B. The Enterprise crew learns of their captain and science officer's capture and start to formulate a rescue plan. Then they get the dreaded phone call from their hostage people, and they demand the phaser pistols in exchange for Archer and DePaul. As soon as they hang up, they get another dreaded phone call from the Vulcans, who just entered the neighborhood and will be arriving shortly. They tisk at the crew like a child and inform them that they will be the ones to clean up their mess.
This scene was interesting because Vulcans aren't supposed to lie.
I think that's bullshit. I think we're learning right away now that Vulcans can stretch the truth. They just don't.
She stretched
do it naturally.
He's the cook.
And they could do it with a straight face too.
She stretched it like your underwear, Captain.
Please. It's only when I go to take them off because they got to get past that big lump. Go ahead.
You mean your ass?
That's a double lump.
Well, actually, a big ass for a guy is a compliment. So, you don't want a guy with like no ass.
That's a disease. It's called no ass at all.
No ass at all.
Yeah, most white guys have that.
Oh, damn.
So T'Pol lies about who Archer is. And I thought it was funny because you sort of see like Archer's eyebrow raised and he sort of takes offense like Stewart.
Of all the things she could have made him out to be the cook.
And then when they say like, so you're the captain, and she's like, that's right, I'm the captain now. She doesn't even bother to correct him.
She's being a little vague. She's like, maybe.
But the fact that she
doesn't answer, then she doesn't have to lie.
Yeah. I love that the Vulcans do this thing where they don't necessarily flat out lie, but they don't deny the truth. It's quite funny.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
Did you guys recognize the main alien guy, Trey?
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's always seems to play those roles a lot, though. Jeff Kober.
Yeah, he was in Voyager too, and The Walking Dead, and he was on.
Was he in The Walking Dead?
He didn't last long.
Yeah, he was only in like 4 episodes.
Okay.
But he was also in Supernatural, The Hills Have Eyes. He was also in Charmed. And
it's always fun seeing Star Trek actors in other things. And vice versa. It's like good actors in other shows make appearances in Star Trek. And it was just like, that's so cool.
Yeah, he was good. He's a good actor.
He was Ico in Star Trek Voyager. And for one episode. So yeah, he's like, one of those great character actors who just does everything.
Yeah, you see a lot of skilled actors like that in Star Trek. That's one of the better things about Star Trek is all the good acting.
It's like our friend Todd Stashwick, I mean, you see him in everything, but you never really remember what exactly he was in. That's like when Nathan and I met him, we're like, we know you from something. Yeah, we're like, you're that guy.
You're that guy.
That guy, you're in that thing.
Oh, man, I'm sure he took that as a...
No, that's what he said to us. He goes, yeah, I'm that guy.
Oh, my.
Yeah, because he's in everything. He was in that the other show, The Descendants, and he's on all kinds of different things.
Supernatural, so cool. And yeah.
But I like also when Archer, again, you're captive, and he still is being a smart ass. It's like, what type of technology do you have? Protein resequence. We can turn shit into chicken sandwiches.
We can make some badass chicken sandwiches.
They just forgot to mention the shit part. Here, we'll give you this, but we won't tell you where it came from.
Here, have some chicken sandwiches.
Why does it taste so funny?
Smells a little weird. That's a spice.
Is that chicken with corn in it?
Corn in the chicken. That's a nice combination.
And let's talk about the breakdancing that Archer and T'Pol tried to do to get out of their bonds.
That was entertaining. I love the physical entertaining, the tied up together kind of thing. Go ahead, stand
ropes, up. Leather straps, bondage, rolling around in the dirt. Good times, all sexy times.
I was flashing back to a Guns N' Roses song from Appetite from Destruction.
Oh, I was flashing back to some porn videos I watched.
You watch more exciting videos than I do.
Well, especially when they flipped around. Can you imagine they told, okay, Jolene, this is what's going to happen. T'Pol's going to flip over, and then you get Archer's face is going to be right in the middle of your boobs when you fall together on the floor.
Archer is going to be abreast of the situation.
Oh, I have an Easter egg for that one.
This is a good Easter egg.
Okay, so they actually used some mood music to help like that part that they were filming that we're talking about.
When they shot the scene, they ended part of the scene on the night before, and they took up the rest of it in the morning. So to get them all psyched up in the morning.
Ready?
Yeah.
Together? Okay. Love Shack.
Baby love Shack.
Oh, that's funny.
Love Shack.
Baby love Shack. If you see a painted sign on the side of the road.
Yeah, so everyone got a big ol' laugh.
I choreographed a dance to that in my contemporary class in junior college.
Nice. The Paul and Archer being tied together.
And with his face in her boobs.
Oh, man.
Love Shack.
Yeah, because that was interesting.
She had a soft landing, though.
Yeah. Which turned into a hard landing. But yeah, it was that. But the fact that they had to twist and wiggle around and everything. And then what's so frustrating is that, yes, we're free. No, you're not.
We made it. Quick, grab the gun. And the second he said grab the gun, the other guys heard grab the gun and ran in there and says, hey, well, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Then they tie him back up even worse.
Seriously, you're in a tin hut and you're sitting there, you escape, and then you're going to yell, grab the gun so loud. It's like people right outside. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
it's like, do you think they hear us? No.
Can't possibly hear that we just got free of our ropes.
Well, Archer, he's one of those things where, if I can't see it, they can't see me, they can't hear me. If I can't see it, they can't see me, they can't hear me.
I mean, you think it's like the guys out there like, hey, did you just hear something? Yeah, I just heard a guy go, oh, it just landed on my face.
Escaped.
Yeah, seriously. Did you hear anything? I just heard someone yell, get the gun.
Yeah. Get the gun. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So all that work, but let's see, with Reed and Tucker. Oh, you get him. That guy, he's just like, Reed is like, well, no, Reed is the one that's like, screw you guys. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to kill everybody. I'm going to get our captain back.
Trip was like, hold on a second now. We don't know that's the shuttle. That might be a fucking space tractor. I mean, come on.
And this is the second time in the series where they've been locked up somewhere where, like, in this tin shack where it's raining, that the song 6 Months in a Leaky Boat has come to mind.
Mm-hmm. Is it just me, or did they get the materials to build that shed at the same place I did? I mean, it looked like 2x4s and the metal roofing. You run down to Home Depot, you pick them up very cheap. No. It's just me, or they have a Home Depot on this planet?
No, it's a Space Depot because
it looked very familiar to me. I'm just sorry. It just triggered it didn't do it the first time I saw this years ago, but having had some experience dealing with this sort of thing, it was like
Andorians are us.
God, they had 2x4s nailed up there. I swear to God, they must have had the cement mixer outside. I mean, come on.
And then they did a typical thing. It's like when they get it, it's like, what's this? It looks like a pistol. I want more of them. It's like, do you even know what it does? You're just gonna
let's find out. Like, no, don't do that.
Well, did any of you guys notice when Archer said that because T'Pol wasn't fighting the extradition back to the Vulcan ship, that he said, you're running away because you're afraid you're becoming one of us? Mm. And if you notice, little by little, T'Pol's humanity is coming through more and more, So in essence, she is becoming one of them.
Well, it does feel like she's one of the crew now. I mean, she really is. Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, we can't just give her back now. This is not the right time to send her back to Vulcan.
Well, like Phlox said, this is the longest a Vulcan's ever been with humans. So.
Yeah, it's why stop a good thing in the middle of its process? I mean, it's complete like, oh, wow, we're winning the race. We've been leading the race the entire time. It looks like we're only got 10 laps to go to finish the race and we're going to win. Let's pull the car out right now.
I mean, Archer and T'Pol, they've bonded with bondage. So.
Literally bonded.
If she's gotten used to the smell, then why put another Vulcan through that?
And and she's all tied up together and she's going to start calling him daddy at some point. I don't,
it's just like a comfy chair. You finally got the right prints and everything so you can relax into it. So why are you going to do that?
Yeah.
And then you get the party pooper shows up, Captain Sopuk. And he's like, they're my people. I'm going to go get them. It's like, come on. No, it's not just one person is your person. So come on. But the guy was, again, the Vulcans have been really assholes.
Yeah. And Trip was even like, I'm really sick of being cut off.
He got hung up on so many times now. It's just so funny.
And then LeVar shows up and it's faster than it's supposed to be there. And he's going to give it like, well, maybe your things are wrong. Seriously, you guys are early. No, we're not. We're like Gandalf. We arrive exactly when we're supposed to.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like them.
Yeah, it was a very interesting situation we put in. And I was like, is Trip really the next guy down in charge? I guess he is. To be, answer the phone and to deal with the terrorist guys. I mean, like, oh, wow. He's just the engineer of the ship. And now he's got to talk. He's got a personal investment. That's his captain, his friend down there. I mean, it's just like, and he's got to answer and deal with these crazy people asking for 40 phase pistols. They only got like 15 of them on the ship. Hello.
And then you get with the guys trying to treat you like a child, which is Captain Kopek. And he's
so
like,
annoying.
Well, you guys don't do anything foolish because, you're children.
And then they hang up on him.
So mad.
They're like, we don't do it. Oh, that motherfucker hung up on me. I mean, Jesus Christ. Oh God. I'm going down there right now.
I looked it up when you said that T'Pol was going to have to call Archer daddy. The Vulcan word for daddy is Samek.
Oh God.
Sonic?
Samek. SAMEKH.
I was thinking Sonic sex.
Okay. We're going to go into Act 3 now.
Is that a thing I can Google?
Well, maybe. I mean, Pornhub has everything.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, Act 3. Fancy meeting you here. Storyline B, the Vulcans show up with a plan, and Trip and Reed completely ignore it and develop a plan of their own. They drive down to the planet to rescue Archer and T'Pol, but they get captured by Andorians instead. Luckily, these are the same Andorians that owe Archer a favor. They'll help him rescue Archer and T'Pol, and then the debt will be repaid. Storyline A, dinner time. Tonight is gruel, and for dessert, a communications device. The Andorians were able to sneak it in via their paid-off guard, and Trip tells Archer the plan.
Saved by Andorians, how embarrassing, right?
But it was nice to see Jeffrey Combs again.
Oh, yeah. Always good to see him.
Oh, my God. He just chews up the scene. And
He's
first
great.
off, you're going to go rescue someone. You don't know how many people are down there. You only send only 2 people. Where the hell's the rest of the people on the ship to help?
Yeah.
And then you walking around, you obviously look like you don't belong there. And so what happens? They get hooded and dragged away as soon as they get down
It was a
there.
good thing they were there, though, because they kind of saved their ass.
Yeah, because like the rescuers needed rescuing.
They obviously left the shuttle pod out there for a trap, guys. I mean, come on. How dumb can you be? I mean, this isn't your first rodeo, is it? Yeah, it actually is.
And not to mention, I hope that Starfleet never finds out, because that won't be a really good look, They're working with the Andorians when they're having this problem with the Vulcans, and they're working with the Vulcans, too.
It is very interesting, the political aspects of that, because, I was like, if your boss caught you lurking with the bad guys, but they're not
That
really the
would be
bad
a
guys.
problem.
But and you were supposed to be working the other guys, and you're working against those guys.
And they're only the bad guys because the guys that you're working with say that they're the bad guys.
And the other bad guys think the other guys are the bad guy. Yeah, it's just
And
messy.
if you're in a firefight and the Vulcans are on one side and the Andorians are on the other, you don't want to be found on the Andorian side.
It is very, very...
unless you wipe out the Vulcans.
Oh,
Then it
God.
doesn't matter what side you're on.
Yeah.
But I like when they're talking about, well, we're going to help you get them escape. And it's like, well, why? It's like, because Archer makes me not sleep at night. I hate owing somebody something. He looks really pained when he said it.
He's like, oh God, I gotta get back at Art. I gotta get him back. I gotta do something. I gotta repay my debt. He cannot sleep. I'm just
Who
like,
knew Andorians had a conscience?
wow, man, wow.
In a way, they're also as honor bound as the Vulcans are, because for him, he considers that an honor. I have to pay him back. It's the honorable thing to do, but he doesn't say that, but that's what's driving it.
That's what's the coolest thing about the Andorians I like so much, is that these guys really do. They have a code to keep up. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this also, you remember the wiggle worm they had to do? They give them gruel and they got to fall on their face and roll to the side to eat.
Now, is it just me, or is that the first time you've been told to, while you're tied up like that, to go eat it? Archer ordered her to eat it. Is that something he normally does? Like, you need to eat that.
But then is the first thing I'm surprised that Paul didn't say, it's like, is there meat in there? I'm a vegetarian. I can't have meat. And
she fingered her food first. She really, she used to fingers first.
Your BDSM references are going over the top there, Rocky.
Yeah.
I'm getting them, but no one else is picking up on them.
Really? It's that bad?
Totally
yeah, I got it. It's like, oh, this is warm.
Let me finger that some more.
Well, that his food starts to blink. It's like,
right? I was like, is that a bomb or is that a comm device? What is that?
It's like Archer's like, oh, look, mine's got some sort of extra protein mix or something in it. Because
it's dessert.
Wait, if you hit the button, it starts to vibrate.
And first off, why the hell would you put a comm device in Gruul that flashes red light?
What if he ate that thing real quick? You're like, oh no, my stomach is talking.
Not only that, it's like, why are you giving
That's why you did give him a spoon.
Yeah, then why are you giving them food that's blinking?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't blinking initially. You couldn't see because it was buried deep enough.
If I was that hungry, I would have eaten that sucker by accident and probably broken a tooth.
Yeah, but that's why maybe he didn't give him a spoon so he couldn't shovel it in his mouth like that.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. So he finds it. But again, now that he has it, how the hell is he supposed to activate it?
It self-activates.
Oh, I thought it was voice activated.
Yeah, once you lick it clean, it self-activates.
There's a lot of things that self-activate if you do that. But so that guard may or may not have been a plant. We don't know.
He definitely was. He looked down on him, and that look he gave him, I wonder what the direction was. I was like, okay, before you leave the room, turn back and look. And like, what was the key? What are you seeing when you look at them? It's like, there are two people tied up on the floor with some food. What?
Seriously, it's like, what do you do? But yeah, and you get Reed and both Tucker. They're both hot. Again, what is this? All the senior officers always leaving the ship by itself. That would never fly.
Where was that team Reed said he had ready to go? Where's the team Reed was ready to, we had an assault team ready to go take over.
Yeah, but he goes with...
him and Trip, and we go, just kind of by ourselves in robes like Jedis.
Yeah, like the Bopsy twins. They go down there. It's like, oh my God. It's just like having in combat, and we're going to send our senior, our commanding officer, our executive officer, and the first sergeant to do the assault. Everybody else stay back and watch.
Maybe what they're showing us is, this is the very first time out and they have no clue what they're doing and they're all screwing up so much. And they're the reason why we have the Prime Directive. They're the reason why we have policies and procedures. This is the reason why we have all of the other stuff in the futures, because
that's a good point.
Archer likes to go and break into enterings.
That's a good point, because they wouldn't let Picard always go on away missions.
Nope.
So, yeah, and in fact, they even brought that up in the first episode where Riker was like, no, you can't leave. You need to sit your ass there. We get bitches for that.
You got bitches for that. Wait, does that, Captain, does that mean we're your bitches?
No, because I don't send you guys out. I send the dots to look first.
Oh, good.
Patrick then
the dots
follows
are the bitches.
But
I got to take care of the dots when they go out in case the dot breaks down. So every time the dots go out, I go with them.
I still like to know who's sending the dot in to take those pictures. So when you get a chance, find out for me. But, it's surprising because they think they're being captured, Reed and Tucker, and then they pull off and they get the Andorian reveal. They see that it's sure.
Always love antennas first. It's such a great visual gag, the antennas.
Yeah, it is.
Gotta love that shit.
That was pretty cool. And the fact that he's all upset, but they use that little comm device and he starts telling them, it's like, hey, we're going to rescue you and T'Pol. So get ready.
Sit tight, baby.
Yeah, because we're coming. I guess that goes into our next act.
Okay, moving on to the next act. Act 4, The Clash. Reed, Trip, and the Andorians fumble their way inside the complex, causing a huge firefight as they try to rescue the captain and T'Pol. Eventually, they succeed just as the Vulcans roll in, just in time to claim credit for doing nothing. This causes a little bit of infighting, resulting in a phaser wound. Archer saves the day by whisking T'Pol away to the medbay while simultaneously telling the Vulcans where they could go stick it.
This scene was good and annoys me in two different things.
Which part? The action part or the
first off, you have the Vulcans who are supposed to be logical and everything, and what do?
They crash the party.
Unlogical thing is they blow shit up and then starts wandering in.
Yep.
When you have the reason why the Andorians have commandos, because they're moving in stealth. They're like, here's some ale, look at this, ooh that, like magicians. They're coming in and here come the Vulcans. We're gonna blow shit up and announce we're here.
They came in with overwhelming force, the most logical choice, I guess, but it did seem a little heavy-handed.
Extremely.
Maybe they had a class in elementary school about pyrotechnics or something.
My note was, Vulcans bring the boom.
They bring the boom.
It literally was like, boom, the Vulcans have arrived. Big ass explosions, and they're here to save the day and, kill them all. God sort them out.
What was that song from the 80s where Tigra and...
We like the cars that go boom.
Yeah. we're Tigra and Bunny, and we like the boom.
Yeah. Can you imagine, Patrick, if we did that, if we're at a job, if somebody needed computer help, we kick open the cubicle door and it goes, boom, we're here, motherfuckers. What's the problem? We're going to fix shit.
We need to fix some shit.
Fun.
That's awesome. Like a big boom. Here we are.
That sounds like so much fun.
Kick the door, have our hands on our hips and look around. That's right. We're here to fix shit. What's broke?
The funny thing about that is every time you show up to fix something, the fucking thing starts working when you show up. It's just like, I'm here and it's working. Boom! We just set off all the smoke with detectors because of the pyro. And, well, it's working. We'll see you later.
Well, if you wanted to make it not work, just leave the room and you'll be,
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait, it stopped working.
It's definitely was a strange thing. That's the only thing that annoyed me. For being people that were so logical, the Vulcans were really out of their Vulcan mind.
It was crazy.
They really were.
I did like the set work in this. I made fun of it last time because they had the love shack going. But even if it was built from Home Depot, the cool fog effects and the spotlights, they made really great use of the effects to make this scene look cool. Did you guys dig the whole, in the shadows and dark?
Yeah, that was nice.
It was very cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And then you get the operative, they're in there to escape. They have a moment of quiet. They're doing all this firefighting. And Sharan gives to Paul the stuff and he goes, here's your iPod where we paid the debt. Thank you so much.
We looked at other porn. Thanks a lot. Okay, here you go.
Thank you. And then what do the Vulcans do? The Vulcans like, oh, look, it's peaceful. Shoot a rocket.
Jesus Christ. It's very quiet. Let's not make it that quiet.
It's like, boom! What the hell?
Serious.
It's like, seriously? And then you get the guy who's sitting there, he's wounded. And first off, Sapak is just being an asshole, but T'Pol decides to save his life anyway.
She goes in the slo-mo mode and saves the day. I love that. It was very visceral feeling for me because of the slo-mo thing. There was no reason to, a little bit of slo-mo, but they really nailed, they hammered it with that. I thought it was a cool moment.
Isn't that an emotional response from her to,
Well,
I think it was instinctive.
She would say it's logical. He's a commanding officer, a fellow Vulcan, so she's going to save his life.
I don't even think it was just that. I think she just saw there was a guy about to shoot something, like, I'm going to block that and get the target out of the way.
Wasn't it emotional for the Vulcan to shoot the gun in the first place?
I agree, but again, they haven't been very Vulcan. Spock during this time is the most Vulcan, even more Vulcan than the Vulcans.
Yeah.
And
he's half human.
Yep. But I would love once to see somebody do that move where somebody's getting ready to shoot someone and they leap in front of it. For them to leap in front of it and the person gets shot anyway and the guy's on the ground going, oops.
Damn it, I missed.
I guess that was a bad idea because he got hit with multiple phasers after that.
It's like, well, she did it and she got hurt really bad. And he's like, I'm going to take her back to my ship. And it's like, nope, I'm taking her back to mine because she's still a part of my crew and we haven't handed her.
She's my crew, my science officer. She's my responsibility.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a bodyguard moment and just pick her up and walk with her.
But I think Archer knew too that moment that this was a way to keep her on the ship.
Yeah,
I think he knew that he could weasel his way into like keeping her on the ship because she was injured.
Right, because your first thought is, do we have the right medical facility for her to be taken? Of course, she got Phlox. Phlox will get it taken care of. So I'm like, no.
Really
She's coming back to my ship, and we're not going to give her back to you guys.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you, Patrick. That really bugged me too. But that's all in the next section. Do you guys want to move to the next section?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, Act 5. Hey, let's prank the Vulcans. In Sickbay, things are looking pretty bad for T'Pol, and Archer convinces the Vulcans to let her stay aboard the ship. But the Enterprise crew really pulled one over on the Vulcans, because as soon as they leave, the Doctor injects T'Pol with something that makes her wake up. She'll be as good as new in 24 hours. And even better now that she could stay on the Enterprise.
There's probably adrenaline that he gave her to wake her up.
Or something, because he's there and she's looking like on with perfect makeup, laying in bed, and
she cleans up real nice, right?
Yeah,
serious.
He's got rid of all the smoke smudges and everything, and she's laying there. And Archer does give like a serious argument. It's like, she saved your life.
It was very interesting, that aspect of it, because you're appealing to,
his better
the
nature.
Vulcans, well, she just saved your life, dude. Like, come on. Does that even matter to this Vulcan? And apparently it seems to actually matter. And it matters so much that even Archer can tell, because with great confidence, it's like, I think we just got you back.
Well,
I think that was a little arrogant. I think Archer should have been a little bit more cautious on that.
Yeah.
And I love how Archer, once again, like Heather pointed out, gave her an out when she's laying there. It's like, you shouldn't have done that. And it's like, well, you still got time to catch up to him. And she looks at him for a second and go, well, I don't supposed to leave the sick bay, so I'm just going to.
That would be against doctor's orders,
Yeah, that was kind of like, okay, yeah, she's definitely in the crew. I really enjoyed that aspect of it, even though
he gave her a way out and she decided not to take it.
Not to take it again. She's like, I'm going to lay here and what is the Enterprise Netflix password again?
Just watch some Netflix for a while. It's okay.
We're gonna Netflix and chill here in Sick Bay.
Sick Bay and chill.
It's like, seriously.
I love they asked Phlox, will she live? And Phlox is like, I wish I could say. And it's obviously like Phlox is being ordered not to say anything. So that's the same kind of thing that vague Vulcans don't always seem to tell the truth kind of thing that's happening.
I think the subtlety of the way Phlox said that would have escaped the Vulcans regardless.
It totally did.
Yeah.
It really went right over their heads because they're just logical people, right?
I think Archer ordered Phlox to give T'Pol something to put her out, like
give her a nap,
anesthesia or
for
something.
sure. Yeah.
So that way he could
doubt.
say how bad she was. But
For sure.
Because she only got a little shot in the ass. I mean, it wasn't like she got half of her body
No, she had a big old wound in her side.
I'm sorry,
it was her chest.
I apologize. I missed.
Well, it might have been because those things are hard to miss.
You're just thinking about her ass, right?
It could have been the other side. They were soft and cushy.
It was all Rocky thinking about the ass.
But as Tucker said to Sobek, he's like, you guys are awfully trigger happy for someone that's supposed to be repressed emotions.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like that whole thing with the fire.
They really are, though. These Vulcans are really strange.
Yeah, they are. But the Andorians, I have to give Jeffrey Combs again the dig of the whole show, which I thought was pretty awesome.
At the end,
it was like, it's like, you should be the one dying, not her.
Oh man, that was such right in the heart. Even the Vulcans,
snaps.
like, they don't have a heart, but they felt that in the heart. Are we right?
Yeah, that was
That was the library is open and you have been read.
It was literally shame on you. It's like he could have just said that and like
shame.
Oh man,
shame.
Bad Vulcan.
Shame.
Bad. Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame with the shame.
It's a shame. Why you mess around with my heart? It's a shame.
It's funny how the Vulcans are using logic to justify wanting to have genocide. You would think, because that's the only way, if you think about it, it can run. They're looking at the Andorians. They think they're too savage.
That's really dark, man.
And if you look at why else would they be watching and planning to attack them if it wasn't to either subjugate them with a strong arm or genocide? And it makes me think, what would happen if they found Earth that way?
The Vulcans were in control of this colony down here, the main colony, according to the Andorians. The Vulcans ruled them, basically.
Yeah, but again, that's rule. So how much of free will you have if you're being ruled? And that's what Vulcan was trying to do to Earth, was to rule it. And it's supposed to be subject. That's where the Romulans came
Just keep them in control,
Yeah, the Romulans wind up being Vulcans and went buck wild. So, But
and I think it's neat to see Archer looking at the Andorians saying, they were pulling this same shit on us. They were saying that same bullshit about us. So these Andorian guys aren't so bad, you know?
No.
The Vulcans are really doing
like,
some shady shit.
Yeah, and the Andorians are like the humans aren't. The pink skins aren't so bad either.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't like them, but I like them.
Yeah. It's like, damn it, I don't want to owe you nothing. This is it. We're done. I don't want to owe you a thing. So it was a good episode. Again, wait, I have to ask. This is our judge because it's like the cereal. If Mikey likes it, then everyone else will eat it. So Heather, what did you think about this episode? Wow.
Yeah.
For you, that's high compliment.
It didn't quite wow her, that's for sure.
She didn't have, super rants this one.
No super rants, but it wasn't on, one of my favorites.
It's interesting because it was kind of a leftover episode from Pajem. I mean, it really was. It was like the continuation of this story, and it was kind of like, I mean, all sure they had another incident happen, but it wasn't really exciting or wonderful. It was just kind of
So 1 being like the best episode ever, and 10 being the worst episode ever, I would probably give it a 4.5.
So it's slowly beginning to grow on you. That's good to see.
Yep.
Speaking about the way the formula was for this episode for Strange New Worlds, which is going to be Pike's show, they're returning to the episodic way of telling stories. So it's going to be self-contained episodes like it was in the original series with just character development through the series. So people don't necessarily have to see what went on before it. So they're going back to that type of storytelling.
It'll be interesting to see how they actually do it. Because
I agree.
I did like the the random show of the week kind of thing, but they're still going to carry on character arcs throughout it. So
that is correct.
I wonder how there's going to be a fine line that they're going to probably dance around a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
It will, but all in all, I think it was a decent episode. I have to agree with Heather. It wasn't like knock your socks off.
Well, I mean, you look at it and go,
it was good.
So they visit a planet and they get attacked by some of the other crazy people on the planet that was kind of weird and strange, and maybe there's something shifty going on with these Vulcans, and then the Andorians show up and say, hey, there's something shifty going on here, and we're going to save your ass, and the Vulcans weren't going to save, they're going to blow the whole fucking thing up. So it does feel like there's some shady stuff going on with the Vulcans, and it doesn't necessarily, it's not that good, crazy, happy feeling Star Trek episode.
No, it wasn't.
It's definitely, so it wasn't a top 10 of episodes.
No, and of course it was also a planet full of white people.
Oh my God.
Again.
And they're tying people up. I mean, the only cool thing about this was they got tied up, and that's just kind of, it feels dirty, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it was also cool to see Jeffrey Combs again. Anytime he's on an episode that, if he wasn't on that episode, it probably would have lowered the mark to maybe a 3 or 2.5.
Also the Admiral was on this show too. What's that actor's name? Armstrong, is it? Or is that the Admiral's name?
Von Armstrong.
Yeah, he's really good. And you don't realize how much stuff he's been in too, because he was in all the makeup. So he's been in so much stuff just like Jeffrey Combs, because he's been in like DS9 episodes as well. And he's actually been in multiple episodes in Enterprise. You just didn't notice it because I think he was the captain of the Klingon ship last week.
He does good makeup.
He does the makeup thing too, and a versatile actor as well. So it's I keep forgetting about him, but he's been in a lot of Star Trek too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these shows rest on the strength of what they call as the B actors, because you have an A actor, but if he doesn't have a good ensemble around him, you just can't. So you got to have good, strong supporting characters, or else it wouldn't be good. Same thing like with the show Supernatural. I mean, they're focused on the main characters, but look at the strong supporting cast all around them.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes, for a perfect example of that. So it was pretty good. Oh, there you go.
Oh, Daddy.
you just won his bat.
Give me Lucille, baby.
Speaking about give it to me, what's on the next show there, Pat?
Well, next week's show is called Shuttlepod One, Season 1, Episode 16, where when returning to Enterprise in Shuttlepod One, Trip and Reed see apparent evidence that Enterprise has been destroyed. With only days of oxygen left, they must find a way to survive long enough for rescue.
I can't wait for this one, because I remember this being one of my favorites. It'll be interesting to see if it is still.
Well,
as good as I remember it.
The tension between Tucker and Reed, the infighting and the
they're stuck in a shuttle pod and the air is going away. And
yeah, getting on each other's nerves. And
that's kind of cool.
And Reed's like, we're gonna die. Tucker's like, shut the fuck up, you little whiny little bitch.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, I can't wait.
It makes me wonder if this episode is what got them to be such good friends, because in conventions they walk around together like the Bopsy twins.
Oh my God, I noticed that too. Yeah, they kind of hang out.
They're
really
together.
good friends.
Yeah, always together. So I think that's pretty cool.
They do karaoke together too.
Yeah, so it was good. It's going to be a good episode for next week. Looking on our schedule. Wait a minute. I'm not going to tell you guys who our next guest is or when, because if you really wanted to find that shit out, you need to be a part of our Patreon. If not, you're going to have to wait and see. So there.
Oh, man. I got to join the Patreon. I have no idea who's next.
I got to say one little thing first off. If you little fuckers listen to this episode without your parents being in a room, I will find you. When you hear a weird noise in your room tonight, that'd be me climbing through the window to choke you out. You're not supposed to listen to this episode. Listen to it.
That's just the old Marine talking. Don't worry about it. He's not really going to come into your room. He could do it, but he's not going to do it. No, he's capable. But
he does it to me. Like he comes into my room and does that to me, but then he like cuddles up next to me, and then I feel like I'm like right next to a big like teddy bear and everything.
He did
and
it to me the other night. It was kind of nice,
cozy, and wonderful.
I did this to my own brother one time. He kept giving my mother a hassle, and I told him I would come up in his room and I would kill him in his sleep. And he swore up and down that I couldn't do it. So I went up to his room and I wrote on the back of his hands, I wrote, "You're dead," in that black magic marker. He woke up that next morning and he freaked out. He behaved himself for months.
Oh man,
for months.
You can't mess with our captain.
So do not again. If you had listened to this episode, we'll know and we'll find out, and I will get you.
Awesome.
Hey, before we go, there's one little piece of news that I just found that is kind of interesting.
Is it breaking?
No Star Trek related, but Stacy, you all know who Stacy Abrams is, right?
Yeah, of course. She's a huge Star Trek fan.
Yeah, she was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yay.
Oh, outstanding.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is good news.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, for joining in. We look forward to having you or seeing you next week. And also, if you want to find out why the show was late last week, we ran into some renegade Klingons, and we actually had to use our photon torpedoes.
And it's hard to wipe out Klingons around Uranus.
Yeah, well, that's Patrick's job. He's real good at cleaning things around Uranus. And we had our quantum torpedoes, and special thanks to our science officer to figure out how to ignite that nebula.
Yeah. Well, fire all the torpedoes at once.
Yeah, and for Rocky to be able to reconfigure so the yield wasn't as powerful as it should have been. And thank you, Patrick, for compromising their security channel in order for us to find out what they're doing. Else, I don't know, even with the cloak, we would have been able to get away from that. So that's why the show was late last week. But this week, we should be good. Should be.
Unless we have any renegade Andorians on board.
You should go. And if they did, you'll be able to tell us because Patrick's going to give them good antenna. So thank you, everybody, for listening. It's been a great show. Make sure you have a safe week, and not just have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG, and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.